Hi guys, my name's Paula. I posted on several different Facebook pages a set of translucent polymer clay earrings that I had made, and they were pretty much these ones. They're pretty gorgeous, and I used a method called cut and replace, and a few people asked me to show them the method. Now I've got to be honest with you, I have done 2 full recordings, both of which have just not wanted to play the game when I've tried to upload them or do anything. So what I'm going to do is really quickly, so it's a really small video, show you cut and replace. What you end up with are earrings, okay, or whatever else you want to cut out with it. So really quickly, well, I'm using Cernit translucent. So Cernit translucent, and I'm using different colours. I used amber, which is the yellowy colour, this, which is the white, which is just called translucent. I used the red, I used the orange, and I used silver glitter for those. What I'm going to be using next, or the one I'm going to show you that I've just done and the recording hasn't come out quite well, is those colours, but I'm going to use the yellow, the translucent, the silver glitter, the orange, but I'm going to put turquoise in instead. Pretty much that's the slab you're going to end up with, and I'm happy to cut that with you to show you where that goes. But I just want to really quickly do the cut and replace. So I've done mine on a 6 on my pasta machine. It's the second highest setting. Do it on whatever you like. Some people like it thicker, no problems. And I've already rolled out my colours. As you can see, I'd already used some when I thought I was recording this slab. And I've got a little bit of white left, so I'm literally going to use that just to show you the method, and that's all I'm showing you with this is the method. And then, you know, we come back to this slab and it's what it's going to end up looking like. I'm using various cutters, different sizes. Potentially I'm going to use some of these little ones. And to do a cut and replace method, you literally are using your base slab, which is going to be this one. It's only a small slab, so I'm only going to use small ones. And I'm going to cut a shape. Quite simply, I'm just going to cut a shape and take it out. And really simply, cut and replace is just that. Just going to replace it with a different colour. Okay, cut. Take it out if you can. Be easier if you can take it out with it. Okay, and I'm just going to replace it with a different colour. Missed the edge off of that one. That's all I'm going to do. That's all you're doing. You can overlap, or you can do different colours, different sizes. It's entirely up to you. So if I overlapped one there, I can always use my craft knife to get them out if I want to. Sometimes it's easier if it actually comes out with the cutter, but if it doesn't, again, it doesn't. Excuse my arm getting in the way for a second. It's going to give me my shape, and I'm going to pop it in. And I'm just going to keep doing that. That is literally it. Cut and replace. Cut a shape, replace it with the same size of a different colour. That's all you're going to do. You can use any shapes, any sizes you like. The other thing that people asked me was, how do I get the thin band? And that's a really easy one, really quickly. Move these ones out of the way for a second, if I can. Just move that one out of the way for a little minute so you can see what I'm going to do with this one. So if I want to get the thin band, I might use one shape, one size, but then I'm going to use a different size, reasonably smaller, inside it. It's going to be really difficult to do because I've got a camera in front of me. Clearly I'm not very good with cameras. On the inside, and I'm going to cut that as well. So you're using 2 shapes, and what it's going to give you when you come out of that is 2. Can you see? So now I've got 2 shapes, and I can use them, but I have to make sure I use the same size. So bring this one back. I should have put it on paper because it would have been easier on paper to show you. But honestly, this is the 3rd time I've done this. I'm kind of a little bit over it. It's not going to work too well when I do it like this. I just want to show you the method. If you do it on paper, it's normally a lot easier. I need to use that one again. So I'm going to cut that. Okay, hopefully it's going to come out. If not, I'm going to take it out with this. Alright. and I want to use this one. As I said, paper would have been easier. I'm kind of a little bit lost with what I'm doing now. Third attempt, it gets a little bit crazy. Alright, and then whatever colour I want to do with the small one in the middle. So let's go silver. And I haven't, excuse my arm keep getting in the way. This is definitely not going to be my forte. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm going to do. It's that simple. Before you burnish it, you can make sure you save some of your waste. Don't let it get contaminated. And I can save my whites as well. Remember the little bits you take off? You know, make sure they stay out of the way. So they don't contaminate somewhere else. Okay, you've got the method. Cut something out, replace it with something of a different colour. What you'll end up with eventually is a slab that you can cut. I am going to suggest you put that on paper to do that. I'm going to show you how to burnish it. Now again, when I've burnished it on paper, it tends to stick. So I'm wondering if I might just try this really quickly on the slab, on my tile, with some what do I call it? Corn flour. If I can find my corn flour, it might work. So I might just use a bit of corn flour because then it may not stick. I don't know. It's worth a go. We'll see. Let's have a look. So I'm just literally going to show you this method. So you've done your cut and replace. That was really easy, guys, wasn't it? Really, really easy. But now I want it to stick together. And I don't use a slab underneath it. So I'm actually going to use corn flour this time round. I suppose the beauty is but I can try different methods now. It's probably going to stick to my tile. I found I had more success when I was using paper. So burnishing. The aim is to get it all to stick together, not to squidge it any more than what it already is. And to burnish, you need to have your baking paper. And then all you're going to do is rub it together. You don't have to go too hard. I find stirring it a bit sticky, so it's going to stick a little bit. But that's all you're going to do. Okay? Literally going to burnish it together so it starts to stick together. Not put too much effort into that. Okay? Burnishing. Real simple method, guys. Cut and replace. Real simple. Burnishing. Really simple. If I ever get proficient at this, you might get more of a video out of me. But you guys showed me so much love for those earrings. Okay, can you see how it sticks together? And you can also see, just at this edge here, there's a bit there that hasn't, so that would need more burnishing. Baking powder, corn flour, doesn't really make too much difference to it when you bake it. Okay, so you can see a little bit's not stuck. Let's get them to stick, shall we? See what we end up with. Yay! But you can also see contaminants in that as well. By contaminants, I mean these little pieces here. Look, if you can't get them out without ruining your slab, just don't use it in your final cut. If you can, great. Last word of advice. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. And I use a baby wipe to clean it. Just a real quick clean. One thing you need to be really careful when you do that is that colours will transfer. So if you're going to do it, just do your whites first and then go to your colours with a new piece of cloth. Okay, can you see how that really does actually clean it up? That, beautiful people, is the basis of cut and replace. Really simple method. Really, really simple. It's a lot simpler to do that than it is to actually try and video it, trust me. So we've now ended up with our beautiful slabs of colour. And the next step to them would be to cut them out into whatever shape you want. I ended up when I did those ones. Lots of these. Somebody said they look like lava lamps. Love that idea that they look like lava lamps. Don't forget, least amount of waste as possible. You actually don't use a lot of colour. And I actually quite like Cernit. I'm starting to love Cernit. So what you're going to end up with is your slabs. You all have your own practices a lot of the time and how you do that, whether that's on paper, whether it's on baking paper. Cook it on a piece of copy paper, on a tile, and I always put either a foil arch over the top or a baking tray, foil disposable baking tray, but I don't dispose of it, I keep it for that purpose, on 130 Celsius for 30 minutes. That is it, that's all I do. And then these ones, they get resined. The front you can see is resined, the back isn't, but the point being, you know, they're translucent and I want to be able to see through them. Not many people look at the back of my earrings when they're in my head, so that's all good. Hopefully guys, that will help you. Give me some feedback please. One day if I ever get more professional at doing this, you might get the second round. Cool, thanks guys.